welcome. It is Friday, June 27th, coming to you with a special live stream. Uh, very special live stream. Sarah just showed up. A special live stream, partly because I didn't do one yesterday, but also because yesterday was probably the last Diamond previews order I ever made. For those who haven't been following everything on Haymark, following everything that's been going on in the comic book world, grab yourself a drink, and we'll do a quick review. Basically, Diamond went through Chapter 11 bankruptcy after about 6 months of it becoming clear that they hadn't been paying certain bills. When they went to Chapter 11, of course, all those bills went on hold. They then went up for auction, as Chapter 11 companies are wont to do, and were purchased by someone. They then messed around in such a way as to make the people who bought them not buy them, and the people who they wanted to buy them bought them for a little bit less, but Diamond was happier. The people who bought them were a consortium. One of them, my current distribution for DC, and Canada's longest running distributors, Universal Distribution, and a new company, Ads Populum, which is owned by an older company. Whatever. Diamond being purchased meant things were about to change, because let's be honest, they weren't acting as a successful company anymore. As I keep saying in various live streams that we've done about this all began 5 years ago. When DC left Diamond Distribution, they started the chain of events that lead us to where we are now, which is Diamond being purchased by this new company that, over the course of a couple of months, have taken Diamond from a teetering wreck of a once mighty company, once distribution, the monopoly of distribution, to not even a shell of what they once were. They fired a lot of people. They changed their priorities. They got rid of a lot of things. It was a mess. But the moves made in the last 2 weeks by Diamond have taken this mess to another level, to an almost insulting and abrasively almost rude level, by making a bunch of legal business decisions towards publishers, towards the people whose books they used to carry, untenable. Multiple publishers have gone on a statement publicly saying that they have been emailing Diamond since the big news of, about a month ago, where they just said, we're not paying you. We, the new owners of Diamond, understand that we have been getting things from you post-bankruptcy. We're not paying for you. We've covered this on the live stream. They told them basically, our priority is not the book publishing side of things, so we need to pay the people who are our priority. That who their priority are became very clear in a court filing they made last week, 2 weeks ago. A court filing they made 2 weeks ago, where they sued the previous. This is why I mentioned the people who almost bought Diamond. They said the people who almost bought Diamond used information made in the almost purchase to try and steal the toy licenses that these people are after. Bandai, Hot Toys, a couple other companies that Diamond are the exclusive Amazon distributors to. They sell them to Amazon. It means Amazon, for all its crazy orders of Bandai toys, have to get them through Diamond. That's why these guys bought this company. It's become pretty clear. They told book publishers that they weren't paying them. They told them that eventually, once they've made their profits back, they'll pay them what they owe them in the back. But if they don't want to give them product, fine. Now, again, they didn't send an email out to every publisher saying this. They waited. Publishers begged them and bugged them and talked to them. And through multiple back and forths, we sort of got this information that they don't plan on paying them. Like I said, this is definitely a drink-needed kind of live stream. But the bombshell that dropped on Tuesday night, was due to some bankruptcy court hijinks, Diamond is now claiming every single publisher's books in the Diamond warehouse that were left there on consignment. Because here's the thing. Diamond is not a normal distributor. IPS, Ingram, Hachette, Macmillan, anyone who just Penguin Random House, anyone who distributes books for another company, what they do is they sell the books to retailers. Retailers put an order in, and then Penguin Random House goes, "Oh, we have 10,000 orders for this book. Hey, publisher, we have 10,000 orders for this book, so we're going to order 12,000. So we have 2,000 available for restock if people need it. Are you keeping a good stock on that?" They go, "Yeah, okay, fine. So then we're not even concerned. We'll order 11,000, and if we need more, we'll get 1,000 from you." Fine. And the publisher is supposed to keep them back. They get another order. Fine. Diamond doesn't work that way for a variety of reasons. A lot of it having to do with the single issue market, how much the comics cost, how much it costs to ship them. For whatever reason, Diamond works on consignment. You send Diamond pallets of books. They sell the books. They give you the money for the sale. Now, because it's such an old system and it has been in place for so long, new companies that are only 5 or 6 years old, have never had warehouses. Companies that are 20 years old have never had warehouses because they just leave the books with Diamond. They get the books printed, the printer ships it to Diamond, Diamond sells the books. Because it's Diamond, that's how Diamond works. So it's a doozy. This is like a multi-part thing. Listen carefully. Apparently, again, you can go back to the live stream to January when Diamond sent out letters. They sent letters to us. If you are in business with Diamond, you have to report anything of your product to Diamond, what they owe you, what they have of yours. But I guess companies, including DC Comics, did not feel that the stuff being on consignment with Diamond counted as their property being with Diamond. So they did not file this paperwork saying, "Oh, well, there's $2 million worth of backstock sitting in their warehouse for consignment." They didn't file that. So Diamond dropped a bombshell on Tuesday where they petitioned the court for permission to start selling this stock because it was never claimed. They said, "Please clear up the bankruptcy is clear, bankruptcy is good, it's going forward. Great. Can you please declare these books available so we can start selling them?" They didn't send an email to publishers telling them they were doing this. They didn't. Nothing. And they may very well legally have the right to do this because these people didn't file this form. Now that has changed everything. Because before, publishers were very upset. Publishers have left in droves. Currently, Dynamite, Oni, Titan, 3 of the biggest holdouts, left at the beginning of the week, right? Saying, "Look, Diamond's whatever, we can't do business with them, we're moving to Lunar." All 3 of those, actually no, 2 of those, because I don't think Titan's made it public yet. I don't know if it's true. Titan, maybe not, but Dynamite and Oni both also went to Universal, which is a huge thrill for me because I don't want to use Lunar. We already have a Universal account. Universal is a wonderful company, so I'm glad that they got distribution through them. But more than that, they were already pretty negative on Diamond. Like, "Look, we're not doing business with them anymore." But now Diamond is basically stealing from them as far as they're concerned. It may be legal theft, but Diamond is stealing from them. So there is a lot of animosity. It's no longer a, "Wow, they really screwed things up for everybody. They really owe me money. I'm really upset." Now they're thieves. Now they're actually just literally taking my stuff. I don't get how there's like this huge leap. Like, they already weren't paying you for things they were selling. That's already thievery. But yeah, so I reached out to a publisher. I was doing the Diamond order. Like I said, I was doing the Diamond order in the last print previews, the last one they ever made, June. Doesn't have Marvel, doesn't have DC, but it still had Dark Horse, Random House. Still has tons of companies. I'm probably still going to use the July digital one, which is sitting digital on the website, to go through what Viz has coming out in September, what Yen Press has coming out in September, assuming they're in that catalog. I haven't even looked. That's where the Diamond Previews is incredibly helpful. I can't even get into all of this, but the book market does not work the same way the direct market. Direct market, we have about 2 months, and then we have final order cutoff for 3 weeks before books come out. It's not how it works at a bookstore. At a bookstore, you go to book fairs, you have reps talk to you, and you make orders 6 months in advance for a full season of books. So I don't know how it's going to work. A lot of stuff is going to get messed up. But more than that, the animosity that was created by this legal thievery really has changed everything. I reached out to a publisher who's in this June catalog, and I said, "Look, I know you guys haven't announced an official distributor yet that you're moving to, because they do books. They don't do single issues. They're not in as much of a rush. Should I place an order from Diamond for these things, and I got an email back, never do business with those thieves again. This was a Diamond exclusive person who I had told years ago that they were going to have problems with Diamond. Like I said, this started 5 years ago, Diamond falling apart. And they went, yeah, but Diamond knows the market. Diamond knows who we're dealing with. We're going to go with Diamond even for all their flaws. And now we won't give books to those thieves ever again. That's where Diamond has put itself now. Comic shops, besides for saying they're not going to take the stolen books, comic shops are saying they don't want to work with Diamond for the toys and the things that Diamond is trying to do. They don't want to get them from them. They don't want to give them money. They don't want to be involved. So these new guys at Populum bought Diamond, and effectively from May, let's say from February, when the sale was pushed through, but to May when it was really finalized, May before the end of June, 2 months since they finalized the sale, completely destroyed any reputation Diamond had, any positivity that Diamond had with publishers. There were all these people when Diamond was in bankruptcy saying, oh, but we have to remember Hakarat HaTov, which I've talked about here as a Jewish concept. We have to remember all the good things Diamond did for us. We have to, wish for their recovery. We have to hope that they're going to do well. Gone. No more. Diamond, hate them. I don't need an I told you so t-shirt, honestly. I'm thrilled to have a wider market, but I wish, we talked about this 5 years ago when DC broke up. The eventual end result will be a wider market. It's just a question of how much chaos is created, and it's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of publishers who are not going to survive the next 5 years. Without Diamond, think about this. One publisher said that retail value, they had almost 250,000. It's a very small publisher. They had almost 250,000 retail value books at the Diamond warehouse. After the discount Diamond would take from selling the stuff, assuming Diamond could sell all the stuff, which I'm not so sure of, but assuming Diamond would sell stuff, it's over $100,000 of material, even at a steep discount. Even if they sold it. How much is this company doesn't make books over $30, really. I don't think they make that many. They're over $20. How many books is that? Where would they store those books? They currently have no warehouse space. Diamond is holding all these books for them. Diamond is shipping the books to Ingram when Ingram wants the books. Ingram doesn't have a warehouse on that level. I go look up an Ingram warehouse. Ingram lists the stock availability in their 5 warehouses. Unless it's something humongous, they have 40 copies of stuff. They're not taking 250,000 of one company's books. Like, it's a real problem. These companies are going to have tons of costs. Forget that they've literally lost that $100,000 of books. Like, they're not getting that. Forget that. What are they doing with new books they print? Where are they getting stored? Where are they going? There are things that are happening here that are dominoes, that will have a humongous long tail effect, and it's quite worrisome. Not for the direct market, because let's be frank, the direct market is so tiny when we talk about the comics and when we talk about a direct market, we talk about all the comic stores aggregate together. Their comic book and graphic novel sales are probably, if I'm being very generous, 60% of their sales. There's a good chunk. There's a good 40% that is cards, toys, apparel, supplies, tons of stuff which you get from places besides for Diamond anyway has never been an issue. So direct market might be, but publishers, there are small press publishers who might absolutely fall apart. Archie still has Archie. It's a pretty major publisher. They've been around in some form or another for almost 90 years. Have not announced a new publisher. They've got Penguin Random House for their books, but their single issues, the double digests, all that stuff, no announcement where that's going. They have not announced anywhere yet. I don't think Archie's folding up tomorrow, but they only put out an occasional single issue, and the double digests, they may just stop. I don't know. As we talked about here, there's the wild card factor of the new Neon Ichiban, the new digital distributor that Marvel, DC, all the people at Penguin Random House, and all the major single issue publishers have signed up and said they're going to be doing same day release digital with those people. So that could end up being a whole game changer. I don't know. as of now, our major concern is Archie. Doesn't from our store. Archie, Titan, just literally like 3 or 4 titles in total. Though I have a guy who gets every Double Digest, so those are an issue. Archie, Titan, and then the big one, the one that we are personally, our store, having the most trouble with, is we've been using Pullbox. We've been using Diamond's Pullbox system, and it's a mess. It's not being supported anymore. It barely has all the companies in it, and starting July's catalog, it doesn't have all the companies in it. So that's a major issue. By the end of July, we must have a new system. I'm just really not sure what system that would be. I'm really not happy with any of the ones that make me have to buy a completely new POS. So I'm going to have to start looking into that once July hits. That's what I've told myself. End of June, deal with the end of June, and then Tuesday we will start dealing with getting a new POS or new Pullbox system. I will remind you, though, that the end of June, Mark, you're the only one here, but anyone watching later, the end of June will be our big Moolah Monday sale. That's 4 different bargains in store on Monday. 20 for $10 back issues. Buy 2 get 1 free used books. 20% off hardcovers. That was the first one. 20% off hardcover books on Monday. And then last but not least, 6 hours only. Buy 1, get 1 free, One Piece. All of our One Piece volumes, which I just restocked volume 1, are buy 1, get 1 free. And that's Monday. We will have another live stream on Sunday before that. That's that. If you found this interesting and you're happy to hear about the whole Diamond situation in a nice overview way, join us on Sunday when we're going to talk about Superman in a similar overview way. I did one last Sunday discussing the general idea of Superman, and this Sunday hopefully my daughter will join me. We'll get a little bit more into which Superman stories we love and why, if she's willing to do it. You never know with Tirza. I'm going to finish my drink while I wonder if anyone has any questions. You're welcome to throw them in there. And then I'm going to say goodbye. All right. Until next time, Sunday, remember, Gambit babies, you got to be kind.